Oh, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Nurse Mark and the Green Nurse Daily Dose of AFA.
Where we bring you hope, inspiration for growth and healing so you can start your day off the AFA way. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
You know
Yeah.
what? We started off the AFA way.
Yeah, we did.
Oh my gosh, Sherry,
Every day.
welcome to Thursday, July 8th. Did I tell you that you're absolutely fucking amazing? Have I mentioned that today?
You know
Oh
what?
my
You
God.
have, and I'm
You
really
knew,
grateful.
all of you knew just how amazing she was. You would be scrambling to be her business partner, boyfriend, a girlfriend, whatever, you would be scrambling. I'm telling you
You're
right
funny.
now, holy cow.
You're a funny guy. I love you, Mark. Truly, that here it is what it is. You're living your best life and you're helping others do the same.
Oh my God.
Right? Seriously. And so that's the part that's so cool.
Yeah.
Right.
I was thinking about that this morning, Sherry. I'm leaving for Europe tonight, and I know how I operate. I leave everything for the last minute. So I have a list of things that somebody else may look at and would freak out and say, I can't possibly get it all done, like things in business that need to be wrapped up and all of these things. And I look at it as, oh yeah, I'm going to get all these things done, and I'm going to be off and out on this amazing adventure. Now, here's the thing. Sometimes when I'm overwhelmed like that, or when I have this huge amount of things to do, I get into that space that we all get into, like, Jesus Christ, I don't have enough time. I'm not going to be able to get it done. And then I say, why do I do this to myself? I start that train of thought.
Yeah.
And then I remember my best friend, Rick Frizzetti. Ricky and I
what
were
did Rick have to say?
First grade. Like we met in the first grade, and we were lifelong pals. And he died at the age of 42 from cancer. Ooh. In a very short amount of time. It was like a 2-year turn, and he was dead. And he left behind 3 beautiful kids. And so when I get into that mode of feeling badly about what I have to do, I realize that, God damn it, Ricky would want to be here right now enjoying life with his family. What am I complaining about? I have this amazing opportunity to have this. Oh my God.
Can I tell you, Mark?
Life has been like, if you knew. I know. Good God, Sherry, but if everybody else knew what my life has been like, holy cow.
I know you've jammed a lot into it.
And I am so grateful to be here with you and with everybody else.
Thank you.
Guys, come on along.
It is really good. So here it is too. It's like, just like you said, is, with your friend, I look back now. So now, growing in health, overcoming chronic debilitating disease, starting a business, working, right? You do all of a sudden your mind shift. Mine does anyways. And then you're right. Oh my God, how can I get this done? Blah, blah, blah. And then you get scared, and then you get grumpy, and then it's got to come back to, wow, how lucky am I?
Oh my God.
Because back in 2012, 2013, and 2014, I couldn't make a meal. I couldn't do laundry. I couldn't take care of my kids. I couldn't eat.
2011, I had a gun to my head, and I was deciding, should I stay or should I go? That's a great song by The Clash, by the way. Should I stay or should I go now? Right? Literally had the gun to my head. So I know, sister.
And so here it is.
The bottom of the barrel.
The bottom of the barrel, right? And you can't, once you're at the bottom, you can't get any deeper.
There's nowhere to go except, right? Yeah, no kidding. And that's, that's in the book, and it's all, and since that point, Sherry. Now, before that, I did have an amazing life, but I didn't have all of the tools necessary to stay out of that pit, right?
Me too.
Oh my God. Since that time,
cannabis came into my life and changed it.
My God. Right. I can't even, the adventures I have had and continue to have.
And they
now
continue. That's your book.
I've got such a great partner. Like, I got you as my business partner, my work wife. And then I have my wife, my wife that is this great partner for adventures, right? Up for anything.
You got 2 pillars. Okay.
I do.
You got 2 cancers. Just think of this, guys.
Born on the same day.
Born on the exact same day. Nurse Mark's wife.
Don't know. Something's wacky.
I know. So hey, it's I call it the divine orchestration of the universe. Boom.
You always have the best words. You
Oh,
really
I know.
do.
It's so funny. Well, so do you. And we're going to jump into the daily love.
Here we go.
Right?
All
What are
right.
we loving on today, Nurse
Folks,
Mark?
we're loving on a little bit of landmark education. You know, we're going
I
to go
love landmark.
Landmark Insights Book 1, Live a Life You Love, which is, God, that's what we're here for. Live a life you love. Live your best life ever. We tell you all the time.
Yes.
You're the master of your own destiny, folks. I'm sorry to say it's not the outside circumstances. I know you think it is, but it's not. It's not your spouse or the other people around you or the circumstances of your work. It's just not. It's you. I'm sorry. Sorry to say. But the good news is, you can get out of it. All right. So here, this is called Being Authentic, a Matter of Courage. Ready?
Yeah.
This is good. When we compromise, even in the tiniest of matters, it's easier for those compromises to become more and more commonplace. Over time, bit by bit, this erodes our sense of self. While one drop of red paint in a can of white may turn the paint only the palest shade of pink, perhaps barely noticeable, no matter what we say about it, the paint is no longer what it was. Similarly, when the wholeness and completeness of who we are is jeopardized in some way, albeit imperceptible at first, our sense of ourselves gets obscured, making it harder to return to who we are. When that begins, there really is no starting point to become ourselves. It's all flailing around. The possibility of fully being ourselves occurs in proportion to our being authentic. Living with a pretense or being afraid that some aspect of ourselves might be found out precludes any real freedom. There is no template to follow, no zeitgeist to read, no known path to success. It's a matter of courage. It gets made up as we go along, and it is this shift that makes available to us the full possibility of being human.
Wow. Wow, 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 wow. So that's the part that's so cool. So this what really stuck out to me is this.
Juicy.
Being authentic is a matter of courage. Do not compromise who you are based on what's going on outside of you.
Oh my God.
And we do often get an obscured sense of self when outside circumstances don't match what they think they should be. Right. So having the courage to be authentic, to be real, to be raw. There is nothing to hide. Right? Think about it. It's like, I'm an open book.
It's
you know,
so disempowering when you have that wall up of, boy, if they find out what I'm really like, or, you know, it just living with that pretense, it does take all of the power out of your living. It really does. And so, Sherry, you know, being a recovering people pleaser, this really resonates with me, right? I was really good for most of my life in figuring out what I needed to be for other people that would make them happy. And I would become that. And it was exhausting. And at the end of the day, I did lose myself. I literally had to spend a year by myself, not in any relationships, not dating people, just in this space of who the hell am I? What
Mark,
is it that I really like to do? Because I spent so much time figuring out what you wanted to do.
I can so identify with that as well, you know, in my relationships too. You know, I've been literally, it was, you know, the people pleasing, wanting to be loved, wanting to be liked, making sure that I fit in to what they thought I should be. So really, I was missing a piece of who I was because I wanted to be loved so badly. So here it is. So so taking that time away and being able to give it to myself, having the courage to be me, having the courage to step up and give to myself what I am looking for someone else to give me. Right? Yeah. And that was
really
really
to be alone.
Yeah. Oh God. Well, this is the interesting thing too, is the more time I spend alone, the more comfortable I get with being alone. And that can sometimes too be in a scary place because, but here's the thing about that is, and so when I meditate, I love cannabis. It speaks to me so loud and clear. You know, cannabis is like, I know you love to be alone. I know you got me as a friend. Mary Jane and I, you're good friends with Mary Jane.
Yeah.
However, in order for you to evolve in life, you
Yep.
need to get out of the house and get involved. Right. So
Yeah.
getting involved with relationships with people, that is how we
Absolutely.
grow and change. That's how we become the better version of ourselves, right? Is
Right.
through those interactions and dialogues.
You
And
get to choose. You get to
you get to
choose who
choose.
you want to be in whatever particular situation you're in. Now, there's something I was thinking about the other day when it comes to having alone time. My wife and I, got married on August 20th during a pandemic. We immediately had to spend all of our time together, like we were enmeshed. And we're both very, very strong
Independent.
individuals, like very independent. And
Yeah.
yet we had this where we had to spend all our time together, right? But we had to come to a point recently where we had to, like, she went away for the weekend, did her thing. I went away for the weekend and did my thing.
It's
And I
good.
remembered, oh my gosh, I like being alone to have this recharge. And she got the same experience. Like,
Yeah.
holy shit, I forgot I need to fill my cup. Like, I need to be
Yeah.
doing my own thing, right? So
Yeah.
here's the thing that came to me. Being alone does not mean that you're lonely.
Yes.
People tie those two together as if you need to have somebody in your space at all times. Untrue. You can
Mark,
have the most magnificent life alone.
some of the most loneliest times of my life was when I was in a relationship. So can you imagine feeling like, how is this? I'm in this relationship and I feel really lonely. And when I sat back and looked at that and processed the emotions around that, the reason why is because I didn't have the courage to be me.
Right.
I wasn't showing up authentic because I was people pleasing.
You weren't authentically.
And then I felt lonely. Like I was betraying my soul. That's how I look at it. So do the work, people. This is so important. So important.
Good. It's so good. Now, Alice commented, 25-year marriage, now divorced this year. It's been a week of reminding her to be, who she's meant to be. And listen, my first marriage was 20 years, kids, all that stuff. At the end of that, it was a rough time. I got to admit, like I had to get to a point where I had to figure out again, who the hell am I? Okay. Amazing life now. Holy cow. Not that it was bad then, but
well, here's the thing too. Can you imagine, this is just a thought that comes through, is, people going through divorce, if they did mediation with cannabis ceremonies. That's what I'm thinking, right? Here it is. It's because when you go in, you have two egos that are going in that want to win. Me, you, we're going to do whatever it takes to win. Well, just what if you were able to pull yourself outside of that story and get baked, right?
Awesome. Let's take it a step further. MDMA mediation.
There you go.
Oh Ecstasy. My God. Oh my God. Like that is wow.
Because here it is how can you
have in that area. So you know what?
It's really
cannabis, psychedelics, like okay.
It's the wave of the future. The wave of the future. We've talked about that every day, right? What is it? Cannabinoids, psychedelics, energy therapy, artificial intelligence, microbiome. Boom.
Boom. Boom. So hey, Cher, what are we talking about today?
Well, today we're gonna do a little bit of a review on flavonoids, but specifically target cannaflavins. We had on Dr. Kevin Spellman last night, and he
was so much fun. I love that guy.
Yeah, it was a great show.
He's a molecular biologist and a research scientist, so of course, I'm like jazzed up, like I want to just like hug and kiss the guy. It's just oh my gosh. The knowledge that he has at a molecular level of what goes on, with cannabis and other plants.
Other plants.
Right?
So
amazing.
I was
amazing.
Really blown away.
We gotta have him on again for sure.
We are going to have him on again because he's doing some really cool things. I mean, he was worked at the National Institutes of Health, which we learned, Mark, compromises multiple other modalities that come together. And it's like
cancer, National Institute of Drug and Addiction, it's so multiples.
He made a really cool analogy. What did he say? He said something along the lines that the National Institutes of Health is like the
Mm.
the
Yep.
caviar of research or something like that.
Yes. Yes.
Really,
Yeah.
really up there.
It was great. You got to check it out. You got to check it out.
Yeah.
So we're talking about cannaflavins.
Yeah. So the reason why, so what we do, is we're breaking down the plant. We talk about terpenes, cannabinoids. We're going to get into essential fatty acids soon.
Woohoo.
Flavonoids are a big part of the plant. And then cannaflavins. This was something that I never knew about, until we started doing cannabis nursing. So cannaflavins are flavonoids that are specific to cannabis. Right. And so flavonoids are this diverse family of phytonutrients that give plants, flowers, fruits, and vegetables their rich and vibrant colors. Yeah. And so there's literally, for what I learned, was over 6,000 types. So that's a lot of flavonoids that exist. Yeah. Yeah. So why do they do that? So why do they create these vivid colors in plants? Well, they create
natural compounds, right? They create those vivid colors in order to attract the good insects, the bees, the butterflies, and the birds, and that's how they get cross-pollination and how the species actually survives. So they use this, rather than terpenes, which are to ward off all of these things. They have the bright colors to attract the ones that they really do want to interact with.
Isn't that so cool?
Amazing. Oh,
yeah. Cannabis is really amazing that it has the capability of doing all that. So the other thing I found fascinating was, according to a 2016 overview in the Journal of Nutritional Science, dietary flavonoids are abundant in foods and beverages of plant origins, like we said, such as fruits, vegetables, tea, cocoa, and wine. Right? So think blueberries, plums, apples, cherries, oranges, strawberries, grapes, pears, prunes, onions, spinach, parsley, but also think dark chocolate, green tea, nuts, red wine, soy, and cannabis. So just like how terpenes are found in fruits and vegetables and essential oils, so are flavonoids. Right? And so cannaflavins are flavonoids that are specific to cannabis only.
Rightio.
What else, Mark? What does the study show?
Studies show that these cannaflavins are powerful antioxidants. Imagine that. Something in cannabis that's an antioxidant. We hear that every day. Also anti-mutagenic, anti-carcinogenic, and they benefit the immune system. Yeah. Listen, at the end, they could possibly reduce the risk of cancer, neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's, and cardiovascular disease. It's so early on. There's so many studies that need to be done that, there is initial evidence that this may be the case. Yeah.
So what happened in August of 2019? What did the researchers from the Edith Cowan University School of Medical Health Science publish? They published some information. It was a study analyzing the data from the Danish diet.
Yep. Cancer and Health cohort. It assessed the diet of over 53,000 Danes over 23 years. So this was a longitudinal study over a long period of time, like the Framingham Health study, right? That we did here in Massachusetts. That was a generational study. Like they started in the 50s or 60s, and they did generational studies of nutrition and habits in families. So longitudinal studies are really powerful because you're getting that long-term look. So they did 53,000 Danes over 23 years. The results revealed that flavonoids are associated with cardiovascular disease-related and cancer-related mortality. Moreover, they found that the protective effects of high flavonoid diets were stronger for smokers and drinkers. In other words, smokers and drinkers are taking in these carcinogens. Both are carcinogens, by the way. Yeah. And so, they found that there were protective effects. They do caution, however, that flavonoid intake does not replace the health effects of quitting smoking and drinking. In other words,
don't balance it.
You're on that slippery slope, no matter what you do. Like that's going to trump everything that you're going to do.
And this is the funny thing too. So when I educate too, when we do educating on cannabis, people will say, well, isn't red wine good for me? Isn't there health benefits? I said, guess what? I can list 5 other things that you can take that will provide the health benefits without the negative impact of alcohol.
I know.
OPCs, Orax, grapeseed extract, all of these other types of supplements that are out there. So, so basically the bottom line is don't go take a handful of flavonoids and vitamins and then go drink, but the research is really interesting that it did protect
or at least
them.
Or what your choices are, right? Because most of us are going to have a drink or two.
Yeah.
But be aware. Like, it's about the awareness, right? So you're right, Sherry. Don't think that taking a handful of vitamins and other things that have flavonoids in them, that this is going to make it okay to just go drink a 5th of whiskey or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
So scientists agree that there's about 20 flavonoids present in cannabis. And some of the most common flavonoids and their benefits include what, Mark? We got this list going. We got a bunch of them.
No. Canaflavin A, B, and C. Anti-inflammatory. Oh my God. Why don't we just say cannabis is going to do a lot of really good things? Because we say these things all the time, but we're going to say them again because we need to keep hearing this so that we know it intimately. Listen, anti-inflammatory, antifungal, antioxidant, and anti-cancer. What's the next one, Cher?
Quercetin. So this is another flavonoid that is present in cannabis. It's an analgesic, anti-inflammatory, cardioprotective, cancer-fighting, immunoprotective, and as a topical, it eases skin irritation.
Wow. What about the next one? Isovitaxin, antioxidant, anti-cancer, anti-inflammatory, anti-hyperalgesia, and neuroprotective.
There you go. It's another one. So another flavonoid that's present in cannabis is called apigenin. It's anti-anxiety, anti-inflammatory, and anti-cancer.
Another one, beta cytosterol, anti-inflammatory. Now remember, chronic inflammation is not a good thing. The inflammatory process is part of how we heal, but chronic inflammation, which happens so often, we get out of whack. Endocannabinoid system is out of whack. The inflammation process just remains in place, adds to the aging process, adds to more chronic disease. It's a big deal.
It is a big deal. It is a big deal. So for the new people that are watching, we are talking about flavonoids that are found in cannabis, and there's cannaflavins. And so one of the other flavonoids is luteolin. So luteolin is antioxidant, tumor fighting, and anti-inflammatory.
Wow. Hey, next one, orientin, antioxidant, antiviral, antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, cardioprotective, neuroprotective. Kind of getting this, folks?
You're getting this. Catechins, those are found in tea. A lot of times found in tea, right? Anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, anti-proliferative, cardioprotective, lowers cholesterol. So these are all things. And then the last one that we have is what? Vitexin. Another antioxidant, anti-cancer, anti-inflammatory, neuroprotective, anti-hyperalgesia. So these things are really, really important. So we talk about the richness of the plant. So the point I wanted to make about Dr. Kevin Spellman is often as clinicians, this is great, we'll say the plant has over 400 compounds. He kind of stopped us in our tracks there. And I'm really glad that he did that because I had an intuitive feeling there's got to be more. This plant does so much more than we all know.
I was at a conference and they were talking about the number of compounds in cannabis. And it's always a shifting number because, people grab onto something and, they think it's true. And that number of 400 is what a lot of people were quoting early on. And when I was starting to get into my research on this, and I was at a conference and one of the presenters said, there's like over 1,500 compounds. Most of them, we don't really know what they do. We have no idea. We haven't studied them, but we know that they're a specific chemical compound. I'm like, 1,500? Yeah.
Well,
Kevin
so that's the part that was so
most of the times like 2,000 or 3,000 different chemical components in a plant.
Right. So very, very fascinating stuff. So the whole point of the matter is when we talk about cannabis, when we're breaking down the education, the bottom line is the whole of the plant is greater than its individual parts. And we want you all to see how we can pick it apart and give you the therapeutic potential effect of the individual parts. And then you just stick them all together. So just think you've got 1,500 things that are going to be doing something good for your body.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, seriously, you got to look at that. Got to look at that. So like most compounds in cannabis, flavonoids are non-impairing. They're not going to get you high.
Right.
They're thought to actually reduce some of the psychoactive effects of THC,
right,
which is interesting. Yep. And they're also thought to contribute to the entourage effect. And we know the entourage effect is a term that experts describe how cannabis compounds like cannabinoids, terpenes, flavonoids have all been working synergistically together to optimize the therapeutic potential. The whole of the plant is greater than its individual parts.
And what we talked about, really last night, when Kevin was talking about, how cannabinoid signaling works. And we're talking about how, in the pharmaceutical industry, we take a molecule out of a plant and we just skinny it down to one molecule. And we look at how we can point that at one receptor. And what we forget is that it's much more powerful to have all of these things hitting multiple receptors. It provides a much more therapeutic benefit, but it's different. So, plant medicine is not the same as pharmaceutical medicine. And so it's hard for providers to make that transition and link. What I found fascinating, Sherry, is talk about, the comparison between what we're doing here, which is healthcare for profit, and other parts of the world. Like 80% of the rest of the world still use plant medicine as their first choice, their number one choice in healthcare. Imagine that. So we get in our space over here thinking this is how the world is. Oh no.
Yeah. When he told the story about, they were talking about this supplement and that supplement, and the doctor, oh yeah, I prescribed that today. So,
Germany,
50%
of providers are prescribing plant-based medicines, herbs, medicine. 50% of doctors in Germany are doing that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I know, fascinating. So research into cannaflavins has really only scratched the surface.
Oh, yeah.
But so far, what we know, it's been really, really exciting. So as early as 1985 and 1986, a group of scientists discovered that cannaflavins have power anti-inflammatory effects. It was determined that cannaflavin A and B had anti-inflammatory benefits that were 30 times stronger than asprin. Whoop.
That's big.
Right?
That's big. And where's aspirin come from anyway? A freaking tree, birch bark.
He's got started eating trees.
That they pulled out and said, "This is it, salicylic acid." Right, so they're just that's it.
Right.
But it does come with some side effects, right? GI bleed. Yeah.
The other thing too, before we get back to the little research on this, one of the other things I really liked that Kevin Spellman said yesterday was he said, he said, we target one area to block off one exit. A bacteria or a virus or a fungus might get smart and they figure out a way around that exit to the other exits. So if you have a plant-based medicine that's going to cover and target all of the exits, your results are going to be a lot better.
Yeah. That bacteria will try to go around.
Yeah. I don't know. That was,
they're resisting. And all of a sudden it's like, I give up.
Yeah. So it explains the power of why, whole plant medicine as opposed to single molecule cannabinoids, terpenes, whatever, bioflavins, cannaflavins is so much more powerful because as we were demonstrating and educating, it works on everything at the same time.
Right.
So,
absolutely.
We pretty much covered it. So cannaflavins A and B through they're very unique to cannabis. They belong to the class of flavonoids known as flavones. Dietary consumption of these plants has been studied to offer neuroprotective, antioxidant, and anti-cancer properties in several animal models.
Here's a cool one. A study published in 2020. Cannaflavins could potentially treat pancreatic cancer. Now,
there you go.
My dear old mom died of pancreatic cancer 2 years ago. My uncle died of pancreatic cancer. I've had friends pass away from pancreatic cancer. Like it's you don't have a very long survival rate with that. So to hear anything that could possibly treat that is so exciting. And so a flavonoid derivative from cannaflavin B demonstrated significant therapy potential in the treatment of pancreatic cancer in mice. Now, that's in mice. Will it transfer over into human beings? We don't know, but let's find out, right?
Yeah. Well, the
Because the
researchers, I
5-year
mean, what did they
survival rate is
state?
what? Sorry, Cher.
Yeah. Oh, no. But the
Yeah.
researchers stated that, the study results were significant enough,
Yeah.
right, to continue to study, to continue to optimize therapy, to continue to do the
Right.
work. So they felt that it was significant enough, which I think is great.
This is important. I mean, I've lost a lot of significant people in my life to pancreatic cancer because the survival rate is only 8% 5 years out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So boom.
It's not good. I know. Like it's one of those bad ones.
So what do we got for strains that are high in these anthocyanins?
Yeah, so this is what made me interested in bringing this topic to the surface, is because I was looking at all these purple cannabis plants. I love to look at the plants, and I was like, what, I was like, what makes them purple? I mean, I know that there's something going on, but I really wanted to understand it more. And so anthocyanins is what makes them those purple hues, and anthocyanins are found in flavonoids and cannaflavins.
Right. Yeah.
So some of the strains, Granddaddy Purple, Purple Kush, anything that's got purple in it. So Alaskan Purple, Purple Pineberry, or Ayahuasca Purple, Purple Haze, Purple Bud, Purple Paro Valley, Purple Auto. And then they have some red ones too. What do they have? They have
Red Poison. Auto.
Yeah. Oh, the autos. So the autos and the purples. So they have, so Black Cream, Auto 44, Red Poison Auto, Devil's Cream Auto, Purple Bud Auto, Dark Devil Auto, Blackberry Kush Auto, Rare Darkness, and LSD 25. Oh, I don't know about that one.
Oh, boy.
But anyways, so these are some strains that were found, to have high levels of anthocyanins, the bioflavonoids, and those are the types of plants that are very dark and purple.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, Sherry, what do we got going on? I know I'm going to be vamoose. I'm going to be out of here.
You're out of here. Well, you're not leaving before we do our presentation. So Nurse Mark and I are having the honor of presenting at a massage school today.
Yeah, it's a massage school, community college.
Yep. So we're going to be doing a presentation on the endocannabinoid system and how massage therapists can incorporate cannabinoid therapeutics into what they're doing as massage therapists. It's going to be a really great presentation. It's going to be fun.
The endocannabinoid system. Why not bring cannabis in? It's going to help.
Exactly.
So
we have that going on. And then tomorrow we have our show with co-host Nurse Carrie Lee. 9 a.m. we have our Nurse energy. Energy healing. So yes, we've got a lot of good stuff going on. And as always, where's that plug for our community? How could I forget?
Yeah.
I got to tell you, I'm going to bring it up. Let me put that thing up there. All right. You guys definitely want to join the community. Is this it? Where is it? Okay. The Green Nurse Holistic Caring Community. And here's an interesting thing. So I started joining some of these other nursing groups because we're hiring green nurses. We need more nurses in the Green Nurse platform. And so I was like, I'm going to go to this holistic coaching group. And so I went to a holistic coaching group of nurses and asked them if they knew about the endocannabinoid system and what they were doing. And literally they were all so interested. Some of them heard, some of them haven't. But what it made me realize is we have so much work to do. And basically, how do we learn best? We learn best from each other, not only from the science, not only from the research, not only from the webinars, but from community. So the Green Nurse Holistic Caring Community is patients, providers globally around the world. And we're coming together to educate and empower one another, to bring in information. We're bringing in information. We're bringing in access, education, positivity, the mind, the body, and the spirit. Green Nurse approved products and services. It's in one community and it's free. And we want you all to come there. It's really, really important. I just got banned on TikTok. I just got a notification this morning for 3 more days. 3 more days.
You crazy son of a bitch.
Oh, but at this time, you know what they did? This time what they did was they sent me a list so I could see how many days in a row of it, like literally out of 9 videos, 6 of them got taken down. But it's okay though. But here's the thing.
Oh my gosh, Sherry. Yeah. Meanwhile, some girl with no clothing on can dance and sing, but you're not allowed to say anything about
cannabis. So I have to. So I'm getting creative in how I edit.
Lettuce sherry.
So exactly. So I'm being. Yeah. So anyways, the bottom line right here. Yeah. Let me go here. Start here. You're going to go right. The Green Nurse Holistic Caring Network, free community, free group, off social media. It's private and it's uncensored. And then the other thing that's being offered is a free introductory to cannabis course. There's a link right down below for you guys to join. And we really, really want you to come on board with us. We want you to learn with us. We want you to grow with us. We are going global, and that's going to be really exciting. And we want you to come with us. And so in case any of this ever goes away, come into the community. We don't want you to miss. We don't want you to miss the boat or the flight as we, and actually Mark is taking off. He's starting the Green Nurse Global in France. Going to find
the world, join hands on the love train. Let's go. The OJ said it. I always listen to the OJs. Go ahead, look it up. You don't know who the OJs are. Yeah.
No, I think Orange Juice Group. I don't know.
Fair?
Yeah.
Fair?
Yeah.
I know you're going to have the most amazing guests for the next 10 days. I hope, for the next 7
6
days. I hope you have the most amazing shows.
It's going to be fun. I'm really, really excited.
Yeah. Guys, love you all. I'm having the most magnificent AFA day.
Yeah.
And I'll report in from France.
Paris. Yes, sounds good.
Yes. I'll do some live check-ins from France and let you know what is going on in the cannabis world there. Yeah.
Sounds good. Sounds
all right,
good.
Guys. Sherry?
Yeah.
What's it all about?
Oh, gosh, everyone. It is all about living your best life and helping others do the same. Have an AFA day. We love you.
We love you. And you know what? Remember, be authentically you today.